Last episode, on the ZeahALoner, I finally got 85 farming. Not for herblore, I just wanted to read some books in-game and make the most of my 8 1 and 128 watering cans before I had to drop them, because I can't store any of them at the Leprechaun NPC, during which I got the Rocky Pet at 52 thieving, and no way to make money to insure it, just yet. But this episode, it's time to get my head out of the box and into the game. The Hunter game. To train Hunter from level 1, a Zeah only can either leech raids to hunt bats, or get the bird snare from the crate in Land's End and hunt crimson swifts in the Kebe Swamp west of the Lizardman Temple, which is what I'll do. But to make the most of hunting birds, I want to make some iron spits to cook the bird meat for cooking XP. But to make iron spits, I need 17 smithing, and for 17 smithing, I need to literally forge my own journey and smith from scratch, to mine my own ores and smelt my own bars, starting from bronze, the ground up. And the only place where I can begin this journey is in Piscarilius, because just like its inhabitants, Lovicane is short on content. But what's not short is the distance between the tin and copper rocks in Piscarilius and the nearest furnace, which, like the tin and copper rocks should have been, is actually in Lovicane. It's long enough that I decided to thieve a ton of strange fruit, then juggle the strange fruit and the ores to and from the furnace. Damn it! The only situation where having a freaking Rocky Pet just gets in the way. And level 2 smithing. Wow, that took a while. 15 minutes. One way, by the way. The best way to train smithing would have actually been to get the Xerix Talisman and then use it to teleport between the Hesidius mine, which, unlike Lovan Little, also has tin and copper rocks, and the Lovicane furnace. But I had this whole plan to do a whole bunch of things with as little walking as possible, by doing everything on the way, which I thought would be macro efficient, but in reality, I just once more favoured myself. But after way too long, that's 15 smithing, which means I can finally begin this journey in Lovicane. You know, I should feel happy these iron rocks are right next to the furnace, but I just feel empty. Like the Lovicane City, but after a much shorter time, that's 17 smithing for iron spits. I did stay a bit longer to get 20 smithing for holy symbols for crafting XP, since there's a holy symbol spawn in Hesidius that I picked up before I started smithing, an iron axe to chop logs for fires, since you can only cook bird meat over a fire, not a range, 22 smithing for iron knives for future ranged training, and the chisel spawn in Archaeus. Nothing to do with smithing, it's actually to chisel gems from the stone chests, where I'll be getting my Xerix Talisman, which I should have gotten before I started smithing, but it's too late now, so never mind about that. The real kicker about Archaeus is that for whatever fucking reason, unlike every other spellbook in this game where you can literally just pray at an altar to swap your spellbook to it, the only way to unlock the Archaeus spellbook is to talk to this NPC! So even though I'm a Zeah only account, I can't even use the spellbook that's exclusive to Zeah, and I am pissed. Just as pissed as I was about having to go to Piscarilius because I didn't have the fucking foresight to get the Xerix Talisman first instead of last, like it is in my plan, where I once more favoured myself. But at least I have all the levels and items I need for hunting birds, so it's time to train Hunter at Crimson Swifts. And while doing so, I'll both cook the bird meat for cooking XP and fletch some arrow shafts for fletching XP, and to make arrows for more future range training, since unlike iron or bronze knives, arrows take up the ammo slot in your equipped items rather than the weapon slot, which will save an inventory space but still give me ranged ammo. So that's really good. And just like that, that's 9 Hunter for Copper Longtails in the Land's End. In case you're interested, here's the stats I started this grind with, and here's the stats after. A pretty good amount of levels, actually. But these levels will increase by quite a bit as I go over to Copper Longtails. And 15 fletching. Not in Land's End with the Copper Longtails, but the final part of once more favouring myself is to get the Xerix Talisman from the stone chests in the Lizardman Temple. So I figured I'd get the fletching level for iron arrows before I did anything else. Otherwise I'll get pissed again about having to make bronze arrows or something. And before I went to the stone chests, I got some item spawns to get some bonus crafting XP from the chest, the needle and thread spawns at these NPCs' house for Zerishian fabric, and the chisel spawn from earlier this episode for uncut gems. So yeah, time for stone chests. Really hope I don't get KO'd. I've got a pet at risk, and this is not good. Any final words, Rocky? Well, that doesn't bode well, and I don't have a lockpick either, so. No poison, no aggression, yes! Oh, okay. I think I'm out of the woods, finally. I'll still have to keep making chickens to out-eat this poison, but the worst of it's over, so my pet is safe. And after calming myself down with the knowledge that unlike every other Zeah only, I'll never have to juggle clues to try and get a Zami item for Belonginger's Blessing, a gift from an NPC that gives you 1 to Zamorak for herb lore training, I went back to the stone chests. Oh my god, I didn't even notice it! But there is the Xerix Talisman. Oh my god. That was 218 KC, so pretty lucky, honestly. The Xerix Talisman is amazing. A wide variety of teleports to all around Zeah. One of the few transport methods I can get on this account, an equipable teleport item so it doesn't take up inventory space, easily reobtainable for if I die or get another amulet and need extra inventory space, and no cooldown timer for teleports, unlike the Typhon minigame teleport, with the Talisman's teleports charged with easy to get Lizardman fangs instead of, for me, monster drop only lore runes. But I'm scared of using all of its teleports too soon, so instead of going straight to Land's End to train Hunter via the Xerix Lookout teleport, I used iron and bronze knives on chickens for more headless arrows and cows. Yeah, why did I use it on cows? I actually don't know. I wasn't making a ton of, crossbow strings with the beef, and I can't even tan cow hides anywhere because the frickin' tannery outside the NPC's house over here can't be used until you've both completed the Getting Ahead quest and talked to Mary the NPC afterwards, and the Tanner NPC in Forth's dungeon, which is on Zeah, is an NPC, so I can't even do that. So yeah, no idea why I was killing cows, but anyway, I stole silver ore from the ore store in Karen Castle to make holy symbols for crafting XP, made iron arrowheads for iron arrows. Oh, I don't have a hammer. I should probably kill these dwarves. I think they drop a hammer, and I think it's quicker than going all the way back to Hesidius for the hammer spawn. Why do these dwarf monster creatures drop bronze bars? Where did they get them from? Were there tin and copper rocks here in the past, and these dwarf monster creatures just mined them out until they didn't exist anymore, and that's why there aren't any in Lovicane? Are they the reason I had to walk so damn far for a tiny bit of smithing XP? You know, I would be more mad, but these dwarf monster creatures did drop a hammer, which is pretty good, and it means I can easily continue my long route back to copper longtails by making iron arrowheads for iron arrows, getting 26 smithing on the way. So I made an iron warhammer and iron scimitar, don't need that iron scimitar spawn at the Shazian temple anymore, and kill possessed pickaxes in the catacombs of Koran to try and get a rune pickaxe, didn't get it. Flinched temple spiders to try and get air runes so I could train magic for curse spells. I only need like a few air runes to get level 3 for curse spells. Didn't fucking get them, so all these inventory spaces just clogged up with runes and coins for pet insurance. Then I made more holy symbols, more iron arrows, and a new item, iron nails, which I decided to not get from the infinite 10 at a time spawn in this sack at the shed near the farming guild, since it's still a bit slow for what I need them for. Piscarilius Favor. A toll gate exception which, at the time, locked me out of my best in slot food of anglerfish, and with lots of bossing available on Zeah, I figured I should get anglerfish and therefore Piscarilius Favor sooner rather than later. But the only way that I can get Piscarilius Favor is by fixing cranes, which at the time required 30 crafting, which I got earlier this episode while making holy symbols, nails, which I smithed myself, and planks, which I can only get by world hopping at the double plank spawn in Cabo Swamp next to the Crimson Swifts from Hunter, since all other planks on Zeah are either noted, the unnoting of which I consider to be pseudo NPC interaction and therefore unusable, or are otherwise locked behind NPCs. 3 planks are needed to fix each crane, and each crane fixed gives a measly 0.5% Piscarilius Favor, so I'll need to get 600 planks for the 200 cranes required to get 100% Piscarilius Favor for anglerfish. But I can't use a bank to bulk gather the planks first and then take them out at a closer bank to the cranes later, so the best I can do is use the Derek's Talisman to teleport to Shazian and use the boaty boat, which is not driven by NPCs and is therefore usable to get back to the plank spawns, then teleport to Hesidius and walk back to the cranes. Still a long route, but it's twice as quick as only walking, and it means that I'm not afraid to use my Derek's Talisman charges anymore. I even saw someone fixing cranes and another person at Piscarilius Bank. That's gotta be a record for most people seen in Piscarilius before they buffed cranes so that they gave you both crafting and construction XP. Still more content than Lovercane though, and that's 30% Piscarilius Favor. That unlocks sandworms once I get 15 Hunter. I can't do sandworms to gain Favor directly since you only gain the Favor once you hand in the sandworms to an NPC, but I do want to test them out as a general hunter method, so I've remade my iron spits and I'm going to catch copper longtails until I get 15 Hunter. And that's 15 Hunter. Time to catch sandworms. To catch sandworms, you need a spade, which I got from the spade spawn at Watson's house, and buckets, which I got by world hopping at the bucket spawn next to the sulfurous fertilizer NPC that was in Hesidius.
A few moments later.
Right, I'm 2 sandworm buckets in, and I already don't want to do this as a hunter training method because there's a chance that you can get normal buckets of sand instead of buckets of sandworms, and the sandworms are stackable, but the normal sand is not. And I could get new buckets each time, but it's super tedious for me to do so, and without the ability to bulk buy buckets from an NPC-run general store, I'd have to manually empty every single bucket of normal sand, which is very tedious. And I can't fletch or cook food in between catches, so sandworms are not as good as hunting birds. So back to copper longtails. But not before I took a break to make a steel mace for flinching possessed pickaxes for a measly iron pickaxe and flinched temple spiders. Still didn't get any air runes, but I did get super ant poison, which will actually be helpful for killing lizardmen for Shazian Favor later, so I guess I'll take it. But yeah, after that I made more iron nails and got right back to fixing Piscarilius cranes. Oh my god, and finally, that's 100% Piscarius favor for anglerfish in the future. That was way too many fails with the nails, but what's worse is that I also lost a dose of super anti-poison potion. I think it's because I got poisoned by a lizard man while trying to go back to the plank spawns at one point, which is not great, and because flinching temple spiders is still not super easy, I'm gonna have to make sure that I keep this final dose of super anti-poison potion for killing lizardmen for shades in favor later. And after that, I remade everything I needed for hunting birds, all of which I'd dropped earlier for as much inventory space for planks for fixing cranes as possible. And then finally, I went to copper longtails. And the Freaky Forester random event is classified as an NPC. Still gonna dismiss you though. Oh, a ruby ring. If I ever get 49 magic, I can enchant this into a ring of forging, which is pretty decent, but I'm level 1 right now. Normally I wouldn't keep it since 49 magic is too far away, but I don't have anything equipped in my ring slot, and rings don't weigh anything, so no harm in keeping it. And Quizmaster, please go away, but also I want to see what you're classified as, so are you an NPC? Wait. What the hell? What? I am so confused. Oh, okay. The Quizmaster is classified as an attacker. No idea why there was a delay there in it being classed as anything, but oh yeah, I'm supposed to be hunting birds right now. Right. Oh, this is interesting. A bird's nest with a bird egg in it. Its only use is to sacrifice it to the shrine in the Woodcutting Guild for the very small chance at a piece of the evil chicken's outfit. I would actually love to get one of the pieces, even though I wouldn't be able to store it in a player in house, since it's one of the few Zeah-only items that even I can get. But I don't have 60 woodcutting for the Woodcutting Guild yet. I only have 42, so I'll have to hold on to this bird egg until then. Oh my god, okay, I did not manage to capture on camera because I was an autopilot, but the freaking Quizmaster random showed up and I went to dismiss him and I freaking kicked him. Like in the same way that you would like kick a chicken if you weren't like wielding anything. I have played way too many hours of No NPC Interaction accounts. I've dismissed so many random events, but that is the first time that I've ever like kicked a random event away. What the hell is that? Fuck, I kicked the random event again and freaking, I had replay buffer on too, but accidentally pressed stop replay buffer instead of, recorded. No. Oh. By the way, I am aware that there's the door kicker plugin on Runelight, which makes you kick open doors, but I didn't have any plugins on at all, and I still kicked away random event NPCs twice in a row, by the way. So my side mission now is to dismiss one random NPC by kicking them on camera. I feel like it's a super rare dismiss emote though, because usually it's blowing a raspberry at the NPC or doing the angry emote at them, waving goodbye to them, and yawning at them. So it could be a while, as in multiple episodes a while. But the main goal for now is to unlock Great Chinchompers at 54 Hunter. And that's 54 Hunter. Now oh, wait.
A few moments later.
Oh no! Oh, I thought Great Chinchompers were at 54. They're actually at 53. Oh no, I'm such an idiot.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
One level over. Oh, shit. How many extra birds is that? 235 extra birds. 235 extra birds. Oh my god. And the XP per hour is like, literally it's, okay, well that's inaccurate, but, the XP per hour is like 12.5k XP per hour, which means that, okay, I spend like an extra hour and 10 minutes on this, but... But hey, that's Great Chinchompers unlocked, so I'll get some box traps from the other lantern crate and start catching Chinchompers. Yeah, about that. Box traps were originally usable without NPCs, but in 2018, using box traps became locked behind partial completion of the Eagle's Peak quest, which does require NPCs. However, this lock behind the Eagle's Peak quest was only done as a bot busting mechanic, and not because any NPCs actually teach you how to use box traps, at least not for chinchompers, which are the only thing I'll be catching on this account. Therefore, I'll allow myself partial completion of the Eagle's Peak quest as a target exception to unlock box traps. The only items needed for this quest are yellow dye, which I got from the shelves at Gordon and Mary's house in Cabot Swamp. Wow, I really did just refer to NPCs by their actual names. 2 NPCs as well. I'm actually questioning the meaning of life right now. Swamp Tar, which I got by home teleporting to Lumbridge and going to the Swamp Tar spawn in Lumbridge Swamp, and 50 coins, which I got from thieving guards at the Kren's stalls earlier this episode. So, with all the items I needed, I minigame teleported to Castle Walls and walked to Eagle's Peak to start the quest, making sure to fletch at the same time with all the feathers I got and the arrow shafts I made while hunting copper longtails. This was so that I could get fletching XP and so that I had headless arrows to make iron arrows for range training later. Alright, let's start this freaking quest. Eagle's Peak. Wait. Oh no! I went to the complete wrong place. God damn it.
20 minutes later.
Alright, now I'm at the right place. Let's do the quest. Oh, look at this! There we go, there's a box trap. No more helping NPCs. Back to Zeah we go. Drop the NPCs box traps, get my own box traps, catch the Grey Chinchomper, and not be able to wield it. Guess these will stay in my inventory until I get 45 ranged, though I will say the Zeah only Discord recommended that I wait until either 70 or 80 ranged to use them to be efficient. Yes, I really did just say efficiency for a snowflake account build. These people are really hardcore. That being said, I will catch enough Grey Chinchompers for 60 Hunter so that I can barehand Eclectic Implings for my probably best in slot ranged gear. So let's get 60 Hunter. Oh my god, there's a freaking Eclectic here. Of course there is. Oh, so close but so far away. Can confirm that strange plants can grow on top of box traps. Please kick it. No, I didn't kick it. Damn it. Hey, and that is 60 Hunter. Now I can catch, well, I won't say here, but now I can catch Eclectic Implings barehanded, which I'll do next episode.